Real estate is local. So if you live in Richmond, Virginia, or if you're thinking about moving here, then this video is going to be for you, because I want to talk about the average home price here and why we're seeing home prices continue to rise, whereas in so many other places around the country, prices are starting to fall. And I also want to talk about why I'm seeing so many videos and now news articles titled, "Why is everybody moving to Richmond, Virginia?" Because it's true, they are. And where they're coming from might actually be seeing a decline in real estate prices while we see an increase because real estate is local. So let's talk about it a little bit more. My name is DiSanto. I'm a real estate agent here in Richmond, Virginia. If you're thinking about moving here, don't hesitate to pick up the phone, give me a call. Even better yet, leave a comment, because that's a great place to start a dialogue so we can answer questions, go back and forth, and we could all share in the answers. So let's get going. So based on what you're hearing in the news, you would think that the sky is falling. You would think that real estate prices are coming down everywhere and all at once. And that's not really the case, because different markets have different climates, and Richmond, Virginia is no exception. So it's like checking the weather. If you wanted to know if you should pack an umbrella tomorrow, you're not going to go to the National Weather Station and see what system is moving through New Mexico. You're going to go to your local station, see what's happening in your neck of the woods. Here it would be NBC 12, see what's going on. And it's the same for real estate. You want to check with your local market first. But I have some good information here, some charts I found, good stuff. It really gives us an understanding of what's happening in our local market and why. So let's see where we're headed for the summer of 2023. So right now we're sitting pretty. The market is hotter than ever. The days on market, which means from the time a property goes active until the time it sells or goes under contract for sale, is 6 days. That's incredible. It's the same for last month, 6 days, this month, 6 days. So that's unbelievably fast. That indicates a very, very strong seller's market. And look at this chart over here. This is the median sale price of all homes that were sold in the Central Virginia Regional MLS system. That's our MLS. That's Richmond and all of the surrounding counties. Home prices have moved up again. And here's another graph from Redfin. It looks a little bit more aggressive when you look at it through Redfin, but prices are going up. And let's take a look at inventory. Now, inventory is way lower this year than the same time last year. You see the blue line that indicates 2023, and you can see price inventory is way down, and that's not surprising because we're seeing homes fly off the shelf in 6 days, so makes sense. Now this was surprising. I stumbled upon this and I wanted to share it with you, and this is the competitive score. Richmond, Virginia is the 4th most competitive city nationwide. And now that's bonkers. So the feedback I'm getting from other agents pretty much mirrors what my experience is. And that's, going over list price, multiple offers, waiving home inspections, all that same craziness. It's still happening here in Richmond. Okay, here's another little number I usually like to look at. And when I log into MLS, this pops up. It's easy information. It's always there in front of you. And the green bar is going to represent how many new listings hit the market. The yellow is going to indicate how many properties have gone under contract. Well, if the properties are going under contract and being, sold quicker than they're being replenished, then you're running on a deficit. You're losing listings. They're being sold faster than they can be replenished. So if that's the case, then you're losing inventory, and chances are home prices are probably going to start going back up again. But if other conditions are right too, right? Like inflation. So this chart here shows different things that affect inflation. And we're not going to talk about all this stuff right now. I'm not going to talk about oil and things like that because that's not what this video is about. But these are the things that affect inflation. And inflation is what drives interest rates, which drives mortgage payments, which drives home prices. Sometimes you hear that the Fed raised the rate, and people think, oh no, mortgage rates are going to go up. Well, the Fed raising the rates does affect inflation because it slows the economy, but it's inflation that is tied to mortgage interest rates, because if inflation is at 6% and the mortgage interest rate is at 6%, well then basically the bank is lending you money at the same rate that it's being devalued by inflation. So they're going to have to charge more than inflation, right? So that's how that all ties in. So check out this headline. Why are people moving to Richmond, Virginia in droves? And I'll put a link to this in the description. And I read through the article, and one of the things they talk about is that people in Richmond, Virginia are worried that Washington, D.C. is going to turn Richmond into another D.C. suburb, which I don't know anybody personally who's worried about that, but I can imagine if this trend continues, that would happen. Can you imagine if they put in like a speed rail, a train? Yeah, it would happen real quick, right? And that would be a concern. But let me show you this chart here, because I want to kind of cross-check that and see where these people are coming from. And if you go to Redfin, because again, Redfin has this awesome data, and look at all the people that are moving to Richmond, Virginia from out of state, where are they coming from? Well, 50% of the people that are moving to Richmond from out of state are coming from Washington, D.C. So this kind of jives with what that article just said. And prices in D.C. are way higher than in Richmond, Virginia. So I imagine it would bring real estate prices here up as well. And just for fun, let's go into Redfin and let's see what's happening in Washington, D.C. Because if everybody's moving from Washington, D.C. to Richmond, then Richmond prices would be going up, which they are, and I imagine Washington, D.C. prices might be going down. And look at that, prices are going down just a little bit in Washington, D.C. And Washington is only a 2-hour drive north of us. So you can see how the climate just 2 hours north is completely different. And that just basically stresses the point. Real estate is local. So if you have any questions, throw them in the comments so we can start that dialogue and talk about it. And if you're one of my loyal followers and you're still watching, thank you. Everybody else who's still watching, thank you. I look forward to hearing from you. My name is Ron DiSanto. Have a great day.